Okay, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I've been getting up about every hour and a half to 2 hours and stoking the fire. Stayed pretty warm, the temperature's dropped a little bit. I have no idea what it is. It's probably about 10 or 15 degrees. But the wind's picked up again. The wind had died down for a while and it dropped off, and the wind's picked up a little bit again, so I think it's coming back up. I have a bit of a headache. I think that's from the lack of water. I've drunk all the water I had, pretty much. I'll have to melt some more here soon. But I'm gonna try to get another hour or so of sleep now that I've restoked the fire. Okay, Jeff's dropping me off at the departure point. A little windy. It's good knowing. Yeah. So I got my stuff. I'm gonna head out. There's my trail. All right.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay, I'm ready. All right. All right. Here we go. So here's the plan. Jeff has dropped me off on this trail. I'm gonna hike about a mile in, and then going to set up a camp using only the survival bag that the district provides. And then I'm going to show how we use the items in the bag in a cold weather situation to keep ourselves happy and warm. I'm also going to send Jeff a GPS coordinate of my location as soon as I figure out where I'm going to be. And he'll come out tomorrow morning using that coordinate and the technology that we have in the office to try and locate me. And then we'll hike out together. That's the plan. This right here would be a really good shelter if it wasn't facing the wind. Set up at the base of this turned up stone here. Get your space blanket up against the root wad there. Build a fire out front here and let that reflect back on you. But the winds are coming from the south, blowing right into this, and so all night long you'd have smoke and flames and sparks hitting you, and it'd be uncomfortable, and plus you're exposed in the wind. And unfortunately, most blowdowns like this are going to be in the direction of the prevailing wind, or falling with the direction of the prevailing wind. Every employee should have access to one of these kits that allows you to have everything you need for a night out in the woods, or a couple. And a little bit later, when we get to camp, we'll go through the pack and see what's in there. Thought I'd just take a little break. Been hiking for a while, about half a mile, not very long, but the snow's deep. Glad I have the snowshoes, and I'm starting to sweat a little bit. And it's important in a survival situation when you're separated from your group, or tragedies happened and you're the lone survivor of a trip, to not panic and not go crazy trying to get out. if you're realizing that you're not going to be able to get to any type of rescue point and you know that you need to shelter in place, it's important not to push yourself too much and allow yourself to get soaking wet with sweat, because that's only going to cause problems when it cools off and you start to deal with hypothermia and such. Found this tree. It's a good little spot to shelter in if you need just a quick and easy shelter from a storm, or you were so exhausted that you just didn't have time to build one, and you could probably build a small warming fire right about here. Lay out here. It's a bit windy. I got to find a spot where I can get out of the wind and try to build a shelter. The sun's starting to go down. I probably only got a couple hours of light left, maybe 3. So it's kind of important now to start thinking about settling down and stop walking so much. So I'm coming into an area here where it looks like I've got some really good material for building a shelter, making a bed, and having plenty of firewood. A fire went through here, as you can see by these trees, and there's lots of dead and dry wood. So I just need to get maybe on the north side of that hill there and out of the wind. You have to make decisions at this point whether or not you're going to build a shelter first or start a fire. It's not that cold. I'm doing okay. So while I've got the light, I think I'm going to build my shelter. The sun's going down, and I've got to just make a decision. There's a lot of good material here behind me to work with building my shelter. I've got this hill right here, so I'm sheltered from that wind that's coming from the south. You can hear it going over the top of me, but I'm not feeling it right here. So I think I'm going to build a lean-to right here on this tree, kind of this way. Usually with a lean-to, you don't want to put the back towards the wind, because then the wind goes up over the top of it and swirls and hits your fire and puts smoke into you, but the wind's actually going way up above me, and so I'm going to actually go this way to make this shelter. This is the Soil and Water Conservation District survival pack that we put together last year. So far no one's had to use them, but we're going to put it through a test run today. Anyways, I wanted to go through the pack and show you what was in it. Alright, so if you open up the top pouch here, stuff that's in it. I always have this with me. It's our district little down sweater, so it's not standard issue in the pack, but I always have it with me. Another thing that's not in every pack, but you should have with it if you're working remote, is the sat phone with instruction card. Roll of toilet paper. Let's see, extra gloves. Some Mountain House meals, rice and chicken, beef stew, and spaghetti. one nylon tarp, which I may or may not use, one emergency space blanket, thicker type with foil backing, a frog tog poncho, one Lifeline first aid kit, paracord, what is this, 500 feet, 100 feet, paracord, a pack of hand warmers, there's 10 pairs in there, so 20 packs. The side pocket here, there's a water bottle, which I actually filled, and a canteen cup, which you can actually use to heat water in or melt snow or whatever. And it does fit in the canteen. On the other side pocket over here, more a knife with fire steel in the handle. I'm actually going to clip that right here. It's useful. One Petzl headlamp. That does work. I'm actually going to slap that on my head right now while I'm thinking about it. One saw, folding saw. And that's all that's in there. And in the front pocket here, wet fire tinders, which we're going to use today to start a fire. A Frontier straw, which we are not going to use because we are surrounded by water and it's all frozen. One emergency stove with solid fuel pellets. And a stormproof container of waterproof, stormproof matches. There's also a wool blanket in the back of the pack, right here, which I'm not going to take out at the moment. But there is a wool blanket. I got to get some materials to build this shelter. We've got plenty of stuff lying around here. So I'm just going to, I don't want to go too far and wear myself out too much. Take more slats here. We're going to form a wall behind that. That's what it looks like so far. As you can see, the birch is a little bit nicer to use to fill it in. They're fatter and they're lighter. What we'll do is we'll put a few more logs on there, and then I'm going to use the space blanket and put it on the inside with the foil pointing out as a reflective sheet to reflect the heat from my fire that I'm going to put in front of it right here. There's the emergency space blanket, and that will surprisingly reflect quite a bit of heat from the fire. So now it's time to make a bed. To build a bed, the first thing you need is a couple of cross beams like this and this. Now I put these two logs underneath to try and level them because I'm on a slope. And then you saw me cut those other logs, and those are going to form basically some rails that you sleep in between, like that. And then I need two more of these kind to go here and here, so I got to go find a couple more logs. I'll be right back. I've got two more of these. And these, you want to space so that they're, the one the foot of the bed is under your knees, and the other one's under your neck. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it works. It makes it much more comfortable. So the best way to measure that, I found, and by the way, just to give credit where credit's due, got this design from Morris Kohansky out of Canada. Does a lot of bushcraft stuff, and he uses this a lot, so thank you, Morris Kohansky. Anyways, the best way to measure the distance that you need to put those is get yourself a piece of willow, or a birch here, and just take it, go to the back of your knee, and kind of measure it up to your neck. So about there. So I'm doing pretty good. Right about there and there is where they need to be. Okay, great. Now you're going to take your next two rails and put them up here. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to tie it all together with some ropes. Now I need to get a bunch of flexible willows and birches, about that big around at the butt. I'm going to take 10 of them, butt facing this way, and lay them that way. I'm going to take 10 and butt facing that way and lay them this way. And that is going to give us a really nice cushiony bed. Not easy with snowshoes, but oh, all right. So basically, get your knees under that part and head under this part. And probably, yeah, that's not bad. In fact, that's probably enough willows or birch. I mean, the next thing I'm going to do is get some spruce boughs and put it on top of that. Is a solid, comfortable bed. No reason, if you're stuck in a situation like this, where you have to suffer more than you need to. It's good to have certain comforts. Alright, so now I need to work on a fire. And that'll lift my spirits. Oh, tired. Alright, so in the interest of time and light, I haven't quite gathered any firewood yet, hardly. Definitely not enough to get me through the night. And everything that's out here is stuck solid into the ground. So I either have to do a lot of sawing, or I gotta walk further to find things that are on the ground. So, but by the time I got enough firewood, I'd be out of light, and you wouldn't be able to see what I was doing. So I'm gonna start the fire right now with what I've got, and then I'll go out and get some more wood. One thing, when you have these long pieces of wood like this, you can spend all your time sawing and trying to break things, but this fire hardened spruce is so tough to break. It's easier just to get it in long lengths, build your fire and stick it over, and then just keep moving it in as you go. So I'm gonna grab some spruce boughs here off this tree and build a fire. Now I'm gonna build this fire about 2 paces away, so somewhere in here probably is good. Build a little platform here, put the wet fire tinder on, something that can keep it up, even though stuff actually burns when wet. It says it on the package, and I threw a piece in the water and then lit it, and it really worked. So I guess they're not lying. So let's grab that. So this is in all our kits. Let's grab a square of that. Open it up. It's just a white cube. Like that. And stick that cube right there. Take my knife. I'm going to pull the fire steel out. It's a simple twist and pull. Use the back side of your knife. Oh. And down. So, oh, there we go. Okay. So that tinder's now going. Put your fire steel away, put your knife away, don't lose your knife, kind of important. Alright, now I'm going to take these spruce sticks, just kind of lay them across the top there, real lightly. Try to get it. Now if you don't have this wet fire tinder, no fear. There's so much birch around Alaska, interior Alaska, that you should be able to find a piece of birch bark, which also will light if wet. Get yourself a piece of birch bark and you can do the same thing. But this is rather convenient, and it is in the pack, so might as well use it. Here I am, my bed, fire, the night sky, feeling pretty good, feeling that heat come off of the fire. If you actually feel, you can feel the heat reflecting off of this space blanket. It's really nice. So I think it's time to make some dinner. I need some energy. So I've got this Mountain House spaghetti here. Basically set up that if I could boil some water on the fire, but it's a little hard in the snow and stabilizing your cup and trying to get it to do it right. So I'm going to actually use the emergency stove here. And if you fill it up to about where the handle is with water and boil that, that's enough for one of these Mountain House meals. Use this emergency stove here. Basically has these solid fuel tablets. Just going to set it on this bark on top of my snowshoe. I usually have luck. I usually do about 3 to boil a cup of water. And these, they don't light very well with the fire steel. So I'm going to try out one of our matches. I've never tried these, so let's give them a try. Alright, that's going. Alright, now I'm just going to put some snow in my cup. Probably gonna have to add a couple of things of snow. Oh. And then you can take this and you can tip it in. There's two settings. Set it like that, otherwise your cup won't fit on it. Just do that. And we'll let that go for a little while, and hopefully we'll have some boiling water here soon. It took more than 3 tablets to get my snow to melt and then to start boiling here. It's starting to boil there at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this spaghetti with meat sauce. Okay. Take out the silicone pack. Alright. Dump this water, hot water, all of it into there. Okay. Gonna seal it up. Shake it around. Alright. I'm gonna set that right up here on the pack. Eat that. But guess what? There's no spoon in this pack. So I gotta go make one. That's easy. So I just cut this birch here, and then I'm just gonna peel the bark away. It works. Oh my. Okay. Perfect spoon. Good enough. Well, here we are. Time for dinner. It's spaghetti. Looks good. And my spoon, it works just fine. Alright, so I'm going to eat this. It's about 7 o'clock now. I got a long ways to go. I mean, like 12 hours before Jeff even gets up. Or gets to the office, I should say. I've run into a snag, though. I have cell reception here, but only 1 bar, and my coordinates won't go out. So I can't get my location to Jeff. So I might need to walk up to the top of this hill over here in the dark. Luckily I have this headlamp. And see if I can get my position out to him. If not, I'm going to have to use the sat phone and call him and just read off my coordinates to him. I just got back from hiking up the mountain there to send out the coordinate to Jeff. Even when I got on top of the mountain, I couldn't get signal. So I turned my phone off and turned it back on, and all of a sudden I had 4 bars. So I sent out the message and some text messages to tell everyone where I was, how I was doing. And then I came back down here, and guess what? My phone totally had reception here. All I had to do was shut it off and restart it, and it grabbed a different tower and everything was great. So, lesson learned: before you hike all the way up the mountain in the dark, risking, breaking something with all your stuff back here at camp, try turning your phone off first and turning it back on and see if that works. So I think it's about 8 o'clock, so I'm pretty tired, so I'm going to go ahead and call it for now. Guess I'll be up in about an hour or 2 to stoke the fire, which is the problem with doing this kind of stuff. You're constantly stoking the fire. But if you can get sleep while you can, while the fire is blazing and while you're warm, the best thing to do. I'm going to sign out for now, and I'll see you either later tonight or in the morning. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I've been getting up about every hour and a half to 2 hours and stoking the fire. Stayed pretty warm. The temperature's dropped a little bit. I have no idea what it is. It's probably about 10 or 15 degrees. But the wind's picked up again. The wind had died down for a while, and it dropped off, and the wind's picked up a little bit again, so I think it's coming back up. I have a bit of a headache. I think that's from the lack of water. I've drunk all the water I had, pretty much. I'll have to melt some more here soon. But I'm going to try to get another hour or so of sleep now that I've restoked the fire. Okay, well, it's probably close to 8:30 now. Still no sign of the rescue party. But I'm guessing they probably didn't show up at the office till 8, so they probably haven't even left there yet. The nice thing about the stainless steel clean canteen that is in each pack is that you can melt snow in it or thaw your water out when it's frozen. Jeff's out here somewhere. I'm giving him whistles and he's whistling back, but I can't tell where the heck he is. This wind is making it difficult. Alright, I've got a visual on him. He's right over there in those trees, but it's slow going for him. We are on our way out. Pretty good. Alright. You look good. Healthy, warm. You overheated yet?
Oh yeah, I had to unzip to dry out a little. Took my coat off. Boy, snowshoeing through this down fire escape.
Yeah, we'll go the other way, out. So you can see how the heat went up and underneath the bed there, which was really nice. Jeff rescued me, but he didn't bring chocolate.
Yeah, I meant to. I'm sorry.
So
I thought about it. I really promise I did.
So we're gonna head out now.
Go get some chocolate.
Get some chocolate. So this is the difference between the wind here and the wind where I was camped. It's the same wind.